Is bankruptcy the best option? My wife and I have accumulated a great deal of debt. $14,000 in credit card debt, $4,000 in a loan, $6,800 in medical bills and about $35,000 on our car. Between the credit cards and personal loan we spend nearly $700 a month. The loan will slowly be paid off but the credit cards are just interest. We make a little over $80,000 a year combined and I'm starting a second job soon to help tackle some of this problem. 6 weeks ago she gave birth to our daughter, which is the $6,800 in medical bills are deductible that's now on a medical credit card. All of this besides the car is under just her name. I have one credit card and only a $1,000 limit and that's managed. I injured myself at work 2 weeks ago and was forced to miss about a week. I also had to cover going to the doctors twice, which ran me $300. That will hopefully be reimbursed but the time I missed won't be. My wife's on short-term disability from her C-section but returns to work on the 14th but has only been getting 60 of her normal paycheck for the last month. All of this kind of stacked up at the worst time and we've ran out of options. The last thing I want to do is cripple her credit for the following years to come, but financially I don't think we can afford to continue living paycheck to paycheck while raising our little girl. Everything is current and we've been able to defer some payments to help us temporarily. However, would her filing for bankruptcy be the smartest move in this scenario? Update. Thank you to the people who took their time to offer helpful advice and criticisms. We know we've made mistakes along the way of getting to where we are, but that's why I posted this. I was just looking for some options and feedback from people that have been in a similar experiences. We're in no way looking for handouts or a get out of jail free card. After reading this roast of my financial situation, bankruptcy isn't going to be an option for anymore. We'll be looking into combing her credit cards into one to get an interest-free payment for a few months so we can get that number down. The car is a problem that we've created for ourselves and are still looking for ways to go about that. Your medical debt is 1 month's salary. You're paying 10 of your income on debt. Before choosing a nuclear option like bankruptcy, try looking at your finances with an advisor. I have a feeling there's more room in your budget than you think. Your car will likely be repossessed, not magically paid for, if you do this, so instead sell the car and get something more reasonable. Waiter or bartend a couple nights a week and use that extra job to pay down debt. When I had my first child, this is what my husband did to pay down debt. Since my working a second job as well would make it a wash with childcare, I made extra money by buying items at yard sales and reselling at a profit on eBay. I studied what items to seek. Between those two things, we paid off $20,000 in credit card debt we had charged to live when in dire straits. It's atrocious to have a car loan of $35,000 if you're considering bankruptcy. Your debts are too low for your income to file. You need to look at your budget and see if there's cuts that can be made in your spending so you can pay down debt faster. It amazes me people are crazy enough to post here after writing down the fact they owe nearly half their annual income on a damn car. You need the hard knocks version of stop living above your means and regroup the best you can. You are already awful at budgeting. Declaring bankruptcy will not make that better. Can you sell the car and buy something more reasonable? Borrowing $35,000 for a car if you're not a high-ish income earner is insane. $700 a month in debt payment on an $80,000 income isn't that much. Sounds like you have a budget problem. If you list out all your expenses, we can help you limit your spending so you can put it toward debt. Your total department is under $60,000. Wait a little for bankruptcy. I'm 26 and all thought don't have a ton of life experience. I did debt collection for a few years. I wouldn't. These seems manageable. As others have said to me, it seems you want to file because you just want an easy solution instead of the hard one of budgeting and cleaning up and taking care of your finances. I'm gonna be hard on you. This is ridiculous. No, you don't file bankruptcy. Sell the stupid ass car to begin with and get a piece of shit car, that'll get rid of half the debt. You can then clean up the debt pretty easily. Your income. I know two people who filed BK. They were in a similar position as you. Relatively low debt. They filed, and within 6 months were right back where they were. One of them filed again and is right back at it. Of course none of it is her fault, it's the system's fault. Point is, don't fall into this BK trap and pay it off. Have you gone through and evaluated every cent of your monthly spending? There may be more that you can cut than you think. Your wife's CCs need to be cut up. She cannot be putting more money on them each month. That only grows the balance. She is now on the cash-only plan. Most of the baby gear can be second-hand. Garage sales, hand-me-downs and FB marketplace for everything. Exception is car seats. Coupons and store sales for diapers. Most store brand diapers are equivalent to name brand. You were injured on the job. Why are they not paying your salary for that week? You need good credit for a job, to rent a place and to buy a car. You probably shouldn't have put the $6,800 medical bill on a credit card. You should just not pay it or make some kind of payment plan. Not paying medical bills doesn't show up on your credit report for a year, and if you pay them off, it automatically comes off. Now you're probably paying interest on the medical debt. Normally bankruptcy is when debt way exceeds income, but it just sounds like you can still make the payments. It's just that you're living paycheck to paycheck, and that's like lots of other people. The decision making in this one is the worst for me. How does OP consciously spend almost 50 of his income on a freaking car and then have the audacity to want to file for BR? What kind of car are you driving that's worth going through bankruptcy for? Do you realize they will repo your car anyway if you don't sell it? You can't afford the lifestyle you're trying to live. You don't need bankruptcy, just need to dramatically cut back and live an austere life. Your daughter needs stability, safety, and loving parents. You don't need fancy stuff to provide that life. Your debts are way too low for bankruptcy. This is easily dug out of with a shovel. Make cuts, and you'll be fine. You think bankruptcy solve everything? Why come here to ask us? Your 35k car was the problem. You don't have a lot of debt. Here's the thing, if you file bankruptcy, you don't get to magically keep the car and just have that debt loan wiped out. And it will be hard to get a new car loan after, so you need to have cash for a new car. So, think seriously about how you will proceed after if you go the bankruptcy route. Just looking at this doesn't scream bankruptcy to me. Make a tight budget with a personal financial advisor and get this debt paid down. I feel it's doable. If you were injured at work, then a workers' comp should cover your medical bills for that accident. You should be entitled to compensation for time you missed. Also the $6,800 in medical bills, you have some options. A, see if you can qualify for Medicaid. B, see if they offer financial assistance. C, potentially set up a payment plan. D, consolidate your loans and see if the hospital offer a paid-in-full cash discount. Probably won't qualify. Beans and rice, rice and beans. Could you try and settle with some of the debts if you called them individually? For example, call the 4K loan and be like, look, I just had a baby, I got hurt at work. We are receiving little money at the moment, but I have $2,200 to give you right now to settle this. Get it in writing and never give them access to your bank accounts. As others have said, your car is insanely expensive for your situation. Sell it and get something around $5,000 until you sort your situation out. First, sell your car. I earn around $100,000 a year, but I bought a 2010 Altima cash. Not the best, but it still takes me from point A to B. $35,000 on one car? Ouch. Personally, I'd rather pay the other debts off CCs first, maybe setting up the medical on a payment plan, as usually they will work with you interest-free, and sell that car and buy something more reasonable. Injured at work? Did you not file a workers' comp claim?